Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new to the channel, my name is Ken, the designer, and I'm here to help you level up your design skill. Today, we'll be talking about how to get started in Figma 2025. Whether you're a complete beginner or you're looking for a refresher, this video is going to take you through how to set up your account and how to navigate Figma like a pro in 2025. So without wasting much of your time, let's dive into it. So guys, let's get started. So if you're a complete beginner, the first thing you should do is to go to the figma.com website. Here you are able to see Figma as a product, and you're able to explore all of the solutions and the product that Figma has. So here you can see like Figma slides, dev mode, FigJam, Figma design. So this really, you could use Figma as a design and prototype tool, and you could use Figma as a research tool, which is FigJam, and developers can also use Figma because just to go in between the designs and see the font used, spacing, the paddings, the copy some CSS code out of Figma and use. Then we also have Figma slides. I think this is new stuff, still in beta mode. You could also explore that on your own, but today all we're solely talking about is Figma as a design and a prototype tool in one place. So here there are like some videos just illustrating what the what Figma does. So just like this is prototype tool and all of that, so you can go through it by yourself and see. So today let's just quickly get started and sign up and create our account, set up our account literally on Figma today. So what I'll just do is, if you don't have an account before, just click on get started, but if you have an account already, just click on login. But for the sake of people that don't have an account, I'm going to create another account for myself, which is going to be a free account. So then I'll click on, I don't want to enter my email, I just want to use Google authentication. I feel that might be really faster. So yeah, so I'm going to sign in through Google authentication, and so here I just said choose an account to continue with Figma. So I just have one account here, so I'm going to do this and continue. So here it's loading, I'm waiting for the feedback to continue. So signing in with Figma authentication literally just directs you inside the Figma page. You don't have to start entering all of the explanation things. Unlike if I had created my account with this, okay, now it's bringing up like what's your name. So what you just do here is type in your name. So I'm just going to use Kent. Samuel Kent. When I continue, right, it's already showing what it's going to look like on Figma. When I click on continue, then it tells me what kind of work do I do. I do design, and I continue. Then it says do any of this describe your work, and I'm like, am I a freelancer? At the company, but let me just sign up as a freelancer for now. What do you usually collaborate with, or who do you usually collaborate with? Sorry, I'm like clients, teammates, clients. So it shows that like you can collaborate with multiple people. Maybe not now, I can skip that. It says what brings me to Figma today. I'm looking for a new tool to work with. depending on what you want to do. So you could just checking things out, starting looking for a new work tool. So if you come across my video today, you're looking for a new work tool to work with. So have you used Figma product before? Yeah, many times, few times. No, it's my first time. Many times because I use Figma as a professional. So yeah, let's just choose a starter pack. So yeah, it tells us that we have one project for 3 files, limited pages in files, and 30 days version history. So we'll get into that pretty quickly later when we get into the designs, the version history part. It's more like you can have, if your clients reach out to you to do like an update on a particular version, and she comes again and says, oh, can we go back to the first one? You can literally go back to your version history within 30 days version history. So you can be able to like revert to a particular version and still duplicate your file and get like different versions at different times. So you don't need to save and move out just like you do on Adobe Illustrator and all of that. You can get version histories here on Figma. Even after you've deleted some components, you can get them back without having to stress. Then this, guys, the professional one is you literally have Figma $12 per seat per month and FigJam $3 per seat per month. So you have unlimited project, unlimited files, unlimited pages, unlimited version history. Then the organization is like $45 per month per seat, or per seat per month. So single sign-on, organization-wide library, design system analytics, branching and merging, unified admin and billing. So all of these guys all in one. So just choose starter for the sake of this tutorial. Then what would you like to do first? Design with Figma or FigJam, or use Figma slides? For the sake of this tutorial, we are doing design with Figma, so let's just dive straight into it. So diving straight into Figma, we're going to explore the full page, like what Figma is, what Figma looks like, how to run Figma literally. So yeah, we're landing on like Figma's default page. This is what Figma is going to tell you, that like this is what they have, and this is like their welcome page. So they're showing you Figma Basics. So meet Figma in 3 minutes. This space is for learning the basics of Figma to practice some simple designs and check out all of this. Guys, like I see like some simple designs that has been done already here for you on Figma, and you see them, see how neat they look like. So but yeah, today let me just take you through the actual basics. So let's go back into Figma. So this is where you are supposed to land normally, and you see, oh, Sam's team. This is my team, Samuel Kent, as my account name that we used to sign in. So if you decide that you want to use light theme, you could switch from here. You want to use dark theme, you could switch back to dark theme, depending on whatever you want to do. And you can also get the desktop app. I decided to use the web so that we could sign up, and I can also get the desktop app right here because there's a desktop app that I have here on my laptop. I'm deciding to use my desktop app today. Then you can just choose system theme depending on, my system is currently on dark mode, so whatever I choose, if I choose system theme, it just goes, because my system is on dark mode currently, so it adapts to that. Then we have like settings. There's like, you can change your name here, you can add the profile picture, you can do like a lot more stuff. Then here, closed caption, it's in beta mode. And what else? Design row. Oh, I don't want to change that right now. So we have all of these guys right here. Then community, notification, security, tokens, and the likes. So here we have draft and we have all projects. We don't have any project at the moment. This is just Figma default. So here this is like my team, and I can create projects on this page, right? Then we have draft. Here you can literally create draft files. So if you click on this now, you're able to create a new file. If you come here, you can create project here, and you can share project. Then there's like this list view and grid view today that we have. We have multiple projects, a lot of projects, and you want to see them together and see all these details in grid and list view. You could just explore that. And there's like trash. This is like where you see when you delete a file or a project from your Figma for like maybe some days, I think 7 days max, you can come back here and see it and find it. Right, then you can upgrade your plan. Then there's a team project right here. This is like a default from Figma. I've not done any of these things right now. This is a new account. And if you go back to recent, this is where you see like some of the files that you've created earlier, and you can just explore that. So come now, let's here you have like new design file, Fig Jamboard, slide deck, and you can import Figma files or sketch files. If you use Sketch, you can import sketch files into Figma. So yeah, let's create a new design file, then we move in. So here we have, this is what the canvas looks like. This is a dark mode canvas. You could switch the theme if you feel like you don't like what you see, or you can switch it to white. Or I'm currently using a dark mode because I like what I see, and I like to work in dark mode. So now here, let's first work on this left side panel. So here we have like untitled. All of Figma designs file, when you create a new design file, is always called untitled because you've not given it a title, and it's always free. So you can come here and enter a new design file name, which is, I can come and say my first design, right, on Figma. So right here, you're able to see that I can change the name. Can you see that? Then when I come here, there are a lot of other things that you could do, which is show version history, which is what I was mentioning when we're checking like the pricing page. Then we have like export. You could actually export these screens on this page, or you can export the file itself and send a link to your client. Then we have start, add to sidebar, create branch, duplicate, and all of this. We'll talk about this more in details later. But let's move forward. So on Figma, you can literally create pages. So here, pages are like just like your notebook. You could create 2, 3, 4 pages with different topics and different content on different pages. And we have layers. So let's first create multiple pages. Let's say page 1. You can rename it. You can say trial 1. Let's say trial 1. Let's name it trial 1. No. Trial 1. So then I can say trial 2. Right? So now on this page, every page has its layers. So if I say I'm on trial 1, we have layers on this page. So let me do something now. Let me just draw a rectangle. Now we have layers. The layers, this layer, now if I close it, you see that it's not going to show anything. But on trial 1, we have rectangle as a layer on this canvas. So this is your canvas. This is your space. This is where you're supposed to work on Figma, right? So let me delete this back. So every of the canvases or every of the pages have their own layer. So if I click on trial 1, you see that we have a rectangle in it, and the layer says we have a rectangle. If you click on trial 2, I don't have anything in the layer. If I close it and open it, there's nothing here, so there's no layer inside of it, right? And you can, just like Figma said earlier, you can create unlimited pages on your free design file. For a free design file, you can create unlimited pages right now, and you can use that for all of the works I want to do, right? So on this side menu, there are still some things that we still need to know. Right now, you can create a new design file, new Fig Jam file, new slide deck, new for sketch file, all of these guys. Then you can place image into Figma. If you are looking to, I'm just picking it one after the other. You can go directly into your file manager today and just drag and drop an image that you probably need. So let me pick this image, and you can import it into Figma today. See, this is one image. So it's called place image. So you just go directly here. When you click on place image, it just directs you to your file manager, and you can select a file in your file manager today. So the next thing to do, let's check again, save local copy. So yes, you can save a local copy. You can save a Figma file link to your laptop if you don't want to like if you don't want to save online, you can save local copy. You can have a copy of the design file that you can send locally to your client. So all of this happens, then you can export. You can decide to export. That is rectangle. Now you can come here and export it. Just click on export. It's going to export, but you only have to export frames most times. So you click on frame and click on export. You should be able to export something out of here. So then moving on to edit. So we have like undo, just like your control command Z on Mac and control Z on your keyboard. Copy as, paste, find, and all of these guys, pick colors and all of that. Then the next we have view. So these are like list of actions that you might want to show on your view directly, which is pixel grid, layout grid, ruler, outlines, pixel preview. All of these things we might go into it, and they all have their own like shortcuts that you could really just access. Like this ruler now, ruler is Shift R. So if you click on Shift R on your keyboard, you should see a ruler come outside here. And if you come here to view again, if you click on layout grid is Shift G, then you automatically have your layout grid turned on. And when you go back here, it's already checked, right? So all of those things are just what you could just play around with, then zoom and all of that. Then the next here is object. Now that's just like how you want to move your object. Do you want to group it? Do you want to frame it? Do you want to wrap it? Do you want to... It's really just manipulating your object, flipping it horizontally, left and right, and all of that. Then text. So let's just leave this in for now. These guys are not like the most important thing for you to work on right now. So let's explore the yeah, we have assets. Sometimes Figma have like some inbuilt assets that you can really explore. Maybe like as a starter, you don't really need too much of that, but maybe later in my next video we could talk about assets. So now we have the we have the move tool here on Figma, which is V. If you maybe do something else on your and you don't have the move tool anymore, you can just click on V on your keyboard to get the move tool. So you do this, you have the move tool. The move tool allows you to move your object anywhere you want to move it, right? It just allows you to move your object anywhere. If you see that, if I change this to and 2, it's still moving, but it's moving the entire screen because it's and 2. But if I click on V and do move to, it's just moving my object, not the entire canvas. But if I go back to the and to H and just click H on your keyboard, you see that I'm moving the entire canvas, and which is not supposed to be. So the move tool allows you to move just your object around your page. Then we have the and tool. The and tool just allow you to move the canvas around. So if I have multiple objects now, and I want to move and I want to check them, I want to move the page somewhere, I can just move them around. See that the hand is folding as it's moving, right? It's more like somebody's holding the canvas, somebody's holding a cloth to move around. Yeah. So the next thing here is the scale tool. You can just click on K on your keyboard. The scale tool literally just allows you to do your move your object in the same dimension across. What do I mean by what I said? If you have a rectangle, even when you try to adjust it, it scales down per that ratio. If it's ratio 1 to 2 before, it's going to just keep going 2 to 4, 8 to 4, 16 to 8, just like that. It's just going to be scaling per 2 to 4, 1 to 2, stuff like that. But if you don't scale, now if you check out my stuff here, let me adjust guys to 240 so that you see what I'm saying. If you check out my scale panel here, 240, 240. See, this guy has changed back to 240, and I've clicked on scale, which is K. If I keep scaling, it's going to double. Let me take this back to 240. Let me remove the scale object. 240. I don't want it to have let me remove the scale object and do that again. So if you see that when I do when I have my object as 240, 240, my layout dimension, so when I click on K back to scale, you see that when I scale, it's scaling per 721, 721. Can you see? As it's growing together, 147, 147. But if I don't do scale, if I don't click on K to scale, it's not going to work. It's just going to scatter. So let me remove the scale and go back to move tool and try to expand. You see that? See now, my layout is already scattering 102, 1102 and 717. Can you see? It's just scattering based on it wasn't scaled. So what the scale does is literally it constrains your the circumference ratio of your object and keeps it at the same dimension. So you can literally use this for your designs when necessary. So moving on to, I think we've covered the move, the undo, and the scale. Next thing you need to do is you have the frames. So this is like the baseline of your work in Figma today. So here we have frame, we have section, we have slides. Frame is really important. Frame is like the bedrock of your designs in Figma. And on Figma, you can design for either web, mobile, desktop, which is web is desktop. You could design for tablets and you can design for mobile. So all of those screens are available for you on Figma. So when you click on frame, if you see that when I click on move to, this panel changes. When I click on frame, it gives me a full side panel containing all the frames that I can use on Figma. Yeah. So yeah, I have like phone frames, all the type of phones that exist right now. The Android phone, Android compact, which is like the smaller Android phones, and we have like Android medium, and we have iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Pro, iPhone 16 Pro Max, iPhone 16 Plus, iPhone 14, 15 Pro Max, 14, 15 Pro, 13 and 14, 14 Plus, and iPhone 13 Mini. Then we have iPhone SE. So all of these things have their dimensions depending on what you want to design and what your clients request you to do. You could just explore that and see. Then apart from that, so when you just click on Android compact, you see your screen comes out. The dimensions are totally different. If I come back to my Android compact, I do Android medium. This is what Android medium looks like. And you see that the screens are totally different. Then if I come here and say, oh, I want to design for iPhone 16, can you see what iPhone 16 looks like? This is what the screen looks like. Then I want to say, oh, my client says they want iPhone 16 Pro. This is the screen size. My client says, oh, you know what? I want iPhone 16 Pro Max. This is what it looks like, and more like that. We can go on and on and on and on and on for this. Then let's go and explore the tablet screen sizes. So we have Android expanded. This is what tablet phone screen looks like. We have the Android tablet. Then here you could just do, we come back to frames. You could do Surface Pro, which is this guy, right? We could do this Surface Pro. Then you could still expand and go to we need iPad Pro. You could just change that, right? So you just come here again and say iPad Pro. You see different screen sizes of your choice, right? Then we can say, oh, we want to design for web. All right, let's go to desktop. So we have like MacBook Air. This is what MacBook Air looks like. Screen size. We want to design for MacBook 14, MacBook Pro, which is 14 inches. We have that. And if you want to design for MacBook 16, the size is also available, and you can keep trying them on. And you know, Figma is not just for designing a constrained frame size. You could have TV screen, bigger TV screen. Then we can also explore presentation screens, slides like 16 by 9, 4 by 3. Then if you want to design for Apple Watches, the screens also exist today. You could explore that. This is how small it looks, right? Then you could also explore, we still have like some, that is how they design your Apple Watches today, right? The screen size is also available. It's just canvas, and you can literally design whatever you need to design on those canvas today. So here we have paper, A4 paper. Maybe you want to use Figma to design like a contract or an invoice for your users or for your client. A4 paper is also available. A6, A6, A5, letterhead, and tabloid. Then also, if you are a graphic designer looking to like explore Figma to design posts like marketing content and all of that, you have to Twitter post frames. This is Twitter post frames, so you can literally just come here. You don't have to go and look for the dimensions again. You just have them right here. Then now click on frame. There's Facebook cover, there's Instagram story, there's LinkedIn cover, and all of that. The only thing that I don't think they have on Figma is YouTube background image. Background image size. Maybe that's gonna come later, but you could just do that by yourself. But you can also design all those things. Then Figma community. Maybe you want to design the plugin icon, plugin profile banners, plugin file cover, and all of that. Then do you have archives? These are like the font screen sizes that has existed before, that they feel like it's not that common anymore. So yeah, so they just kept it here, and if you still want to access it, you can still have access to it. So that's literally majorly about frames. So you could literally explore Figma with all of the different frame sizes that we have today on Figma. Then we have this feature on Figma that came recently, which is sectioning. So sectioning is literally just helping you to like section your designs into like different sections. So let me come here and try something for you. So when you click on section is just like a senior brother of frame. So here I can put a section here and label my section and say, oh, mobile designs. So you get mobile designs. Can I say this? But one good thing about section is that you can literally use it for your dev mode, which is you can tell developers that, oh, this section is ready for development. So I come here and say ready for development, you get, and dev can open it and see. And I can also remove the status, or I can copy the status and copy the link of the status and send it to my developers, right? So that way you can do it for all of these guys. You can come here and just create a section and put in this guy and move them around, right? That's what sectioning does. Slides, you don't really need that right now for anything yet. Maybe when you want to do like some more, but for beginners, I'm not sure you really need that. So moving on to shapes. So this is where we are getting there. It's getting interesting. So here we have like different shapes on Figma, which is the rectangle, the line, the arrow, the ellipse, the polygon, the star, and you can import image or videos on Figma. Actually, video works on Figma if you're on a paid plan. So here we have like a rectangle. So you come here, you just select your rectangle. Can you see that? I'm zooming out right now, and I just created a rectangle. And you could literally do anything with your rectangle. You could do corner radius with your rectangle. You could wind it like this. You could decide to pick just one edge and move it, right? You could play around with your tools. You could even turn the rectangle to a circle, depending on how you want to play around with it, right? You could really explore that. Then you can, on this side, on the right side of the panel, you can see different different features or different properties of this rectangle that you can walk around with. So the first thing you see is the positioning, where it is on the canvas, which is the X and Y axis. So if I move this from here to here, you see that the X axis changes, just like the way we have mathematics in on your graph. back in secondary school. So you have like, you move this, your X and Y direction. Y is like the vertical direction, X is like on the horizontal side. So you have like one, see, everything is moving the way it's supposed to be. So we now have the transform. Transform is like you rolling, like giving us this perspective, the angles. So if I say this is currently on 0 degrees, so if I say 90 degrees, you see that he adjusts some type of way, right? If I take it back to 0 degrees, it goes back. So I can adjust this guy, see, by just playing around, moving around my file like this. That's what transform does for you. And there are like some other, these are just like auto degrees that you can just roll around with, depending on how you set it. If I say 90 degrees, if I turn this now, it's going to turn back to 90, then 180, then can you see 90, 180, 360, depending on what I set for this guy. Then we now have the layout itself, which is width and the height. So the width is normally from your mathematics in school. You know that this is the height, and this is the width, how wide it is. So the height is 378 and the width is 426. So the width, if I increase the width, now it's because of this thing is on 90 degrees. That's why it's giving me a wrong calculation. So if I change it back to 0, which is the original transform. So if I move this now and say this is the height, this is the original height. So if I move it down back, the height is going to change as I move. Can you see the height is changing? The height is already on 168 and 332 and all of that. Can you see? Then if I increase the width to, you see that the width is changing, moving as I want it to be. So that's how it is. Then you can lock it, just more like this, like scaling. So if I lock it, if I expand this guy, it's going to be moving in proportion to what I locked. So just like I explained scale in the first part of the video. If I say 2020, now if I zoom this out, if I lock it, as I zoom, it's going to keep increasing. Can you see? So if I continue moving, it's going to keep increasing. 65, 95, because I already locked it. Can you see? Can you see how it moves? 96, 96. And also you can also do that by clicking on the shift key on your keyboard. So if you click on shift, whatever you move around, it remains in the same 99, 393. The width and the height remains in the same place instead of scaling every now and then. And you can also do your scale. You click on K and it keeps scaling, and you don't need to touch your shift key, and it just keep moving in the same direction. So the dimension goes 88, 88. Can you see 88, 88? And width is 88, 88 right now. Can you see? So that's how easy to like manipulate your stuff on Figma. Then moving on to the appearance. So the appearance, if you're familiar with like Photoshop and all of that, you should be able to like manipulate this. So appearance is, first of all, you have this eye icon. You can literally turn it off or turn it back on, right? Just to make it appear or disappear. Then there are like some other features here, like pass through, like multiply, like normal, like darken, and all of this. You can play around with them depending on what you want to use them for. And here we have the opacity. Right now is on 100%. If you say 50%, it's going to turn to like a gray color, right? Because it's white. Then we have the corner radius. So corner radius is just for you to, just what I did at the beginning. If you click on this too, you can have access to the corner radius right here. But you can now say, okay, I want to do like only this top corner to be a particular radius. We just say 10, and the other part to be left out, right? So you can just play around. I mean, I'll just customize your radius, then do this, right? Everywhere is going to look good. It's going to be right mixed, but you can play around all of these guys as you wish. Then yeah, it has another property for colors. So your rectangle, you can change the color of your rectangle to any color of your choice. And here, one trick that I want to teach you is, here you can play around with your color and say, oh, blue. You can type blue into it, and it's going to change to blue. If you don't know your color code, or you can say, oh, gray, and it's going to change to gray. And you can say, oh, I need yellow. But most times it's always good for like primary colors, red. So like, see, it's going to change to red. So your colors, and you can navigate through here and just play around with your colors depending on this. And we have like this wheel of colors that you can play around. Then you can play around with the opacity. What we have here in the behind is the opacity of the colors. So you can say, oh, let it be 100%, let it be lower. Then we have the color picker. So if I decide that, oh, I want to pick a black color, this color is going to change to black. And if I say, oh, let me create another rectangle right here and give it a blue color, can you see? And I want this other red to be blue, so I'll just come here and pick my color picker and select this guy without looking for the color, and it's going to work just like that. Then we have this option here. This is like, we'll talk about this later while we're talking about component. Then here you can turn off your fill or not. Turning off the fill doesn't turn off the object, it's just turning off the color of the object. And here you can also play with the opacity here. Instead of going to the wheel, you can turn off the opacity. Then you can remove the color if you don't want to. It doesn't mean the object is not still there. The object is there, but it's not just with color, it's not filled. It's like somebody that did not wear clothes. So it's like, I'm just removing clothes from the body of the object. It's not that it doesn't exist anymore, but it's not just wearing a clothes. You get. Then we can play with the strokes. So let's play with strokes. Let's say I want to add a stroke to my object. So let me use a red that's going to show. Here you can play with the opacity also. I already talked about that on the fill. And you can play with the positioning of the stroke, either center, either outside, either, can you see? You can literally play with it and it's going to work. Right, center, inside or outside is changing actually. Then you can change the width, the stroke of the stroke. You can change the width of the stroke, a bigger one, a smaller one, a lighter one. Then you can decide that you want to use a dash around it, or you can say, oh, I want the gap to be more than this, I want this, I want that. So you can say, oh, I want 10, so your gap is 10. Can you see that? Then you can customize it and even give it like different stuff. You can say, oh, 44 dash, 33 dash, 66 dash. I also will play around these guys. Then you can adjust the mouth or the endings of these strokes to fit whatever you want to, right? You can adjust the endings to fit all of these guys, right? Then you can still go on and on to customize all of these things, right? It's just what it is. Then here you can have like major customization, which is just the top that I want to have this. Let me remove this corner radius. You can say, oh, I just want to have this corner radius on the top. You can do that. Then you can say, oh, I want to have it just on the bottom. I want to have it just on the left. I just want to have it on the right. See how it looks really nice. Then you can do custom. You can have on top and bottom, one or left and right. You can have and leave one part down. So all of the customization is really easy. Then there's this effect part. Then let me just teach you something. This, you can still leave your design on dark mode, right? This dark mode like this. See this dark mode. Then you can put this guy to white just to have like clarity of what you're doing. So I'm trying to do a drop shadow. So the effect, you can come here for effect and see. Can you see effect? So on effect, we have like inner shadow, we have drop shadow, we have layer blur, we have background blur. So inner shadow is just me trying to doing like a 3D inside shadow, depending on what you want to achieve, right? You can literally achieve anything and you can do edit on it. Just click on this texture. You can be able to do like, you can make it more blurry. You can just adjust it and tweak it and play with it. Then you can see, the funny thing is that you can have multiple shadows. You can have background and inner shadow. You can still blur it if you still want to. You can still say, oh, I want to blur it and I still want to have all of the shadows. Figma allows you to do all of those things if you know what you are doing and trying to tweak it. Then you can still adjust your shadow to fit properly by saying, oh, I don't want the shadow to be too much. I just want it to be really light. You can just move it around and play with the opacity right here and just say, oh, I don't want it to be too much. So you're able to play with the opacity and just have like subtle shadow and all of that. Right, then here you can export your object. Just come here and click on export. You can see the preview of what you want to export and it's going to show you right here what you want to export. So the same thing applies to like the shapes, the other shapes that we have right here. So the same thing, the lines, You can literally just come here and click on lines, and right now the lines are not aligning because I'm not clicking on shift. So one thing I would advise you to always do is when you come to any of the shapes, if I click on rectangle and click on shift, it's going to give me a definite size, which is 57 by 57, or just shift just gives you a constrained width and height. It gives you the same, like it gives you a perfect square. But if you don't click on shift when you do that, you have like different dimensions, like 130, see 37. It's just going to give you different things. So the same thing here. When you have when you want to draw a line, just click on shift. It's going to give you a straight line, regardless of. It's always going to give you a straight line. Straight line. A straight line. It's not going to do like scatter. But if you don't click on shift, see, if you do this, can you see this? It's just all over the place. Can you see? It's not giving me what I want. But if I click on shift, it's constrained and it's perfect. Can you see? It's perfect, so perfect, and I like it. So arrows, the same thing happens to arrows. It applies to arrows. So when you do this, click on shift, and you're able to like have. Then you can do all of the tweaks. Can reduce the anchor point, change the anchor point to whatever you want. Can just play around with it. Have like rounded corners, straight corners, square corners, none. And all of it. Then you can increase the width too, depending on what you want to do. Then the endpoints, so you can adjust it to a node, to a circle, diamond. All of these guys happens today. So away from that, then you can also do like the ellipse tool. So ellipse tool is really important. Don't forget to use your shift key, because if you don't do your shift key, you'll not get a definite circle. Like I said, it's not going to be round. So you have like 30 83. This is a perfect circle, right? Now if you don't do, let me tell you this, if you don't do that, if you don't click on shift when you're drawing the circle, this is what you're going to get. Something like an egg. Like it's fair, like it's not going to be a circle, it's just going to be some random stuff, right? Like oval shape. But click on shift, you get a definite circle. And circle has like a lot of properties. Number one property is it is so nice because you can literally use it to do anything, literally anything, right? And here the first thing you can do is you can play with it as an arc. You can manipulate your circle to give you anything that you want, right? You can come here and do this. See, can you see? Starting point. Then I can move this guy inside. Can you see? Like those people that do graphs and stuff, you can literally move them around and do whatever you want to do. People that do massive dashboards and all of that, you wonder how they create all of those pie charts and stuff. This is how they create it. So you can just do that. You can play around. You can give it corner radius. You can come here. You can do sweep. You can move it back here. Can you see that? Then you can give it corner radius. Just come here. See the appearance panel. Just give it corner radius. It's going to turn to a circle. Then you can play around with it. You can play around with the heights and all of that. Then if you want to see how they create those fancy this thing, you just change the colors. Just play around with the colors. If I choose this color right here, and I choose another, maybe a lighter color to move around it, and I'm like, this is what I'm trying to do. Right? So I'm just playing around with colors. I'm not really specific about what I'm choosing right now, but then you just have like your rings around it, and you can do multiple. Actually, if you want to have like multiple colors around this guy, you just have to move around and do your stuff at different times and move them at different layers, right? You can move them at different layers. So I already changed one of this, and I'm trying to move it. Maybe send this guy totally back. Then this one right here, there's one here. So let me say I'm moving this guy to be, can you see? So like the colors are just there. I'm not, don't mind my color choice right now. I'm just showing you guys an example so you guys can just see how those things have been done. So let's just try to explore. Let's use better colors. Let's use some blue. Let's have like some blue, some lighter shade of blue too still. Right now let's do, yeah, some lighter shade of blue. Then Let's explore more and do like another lighter shade of blue. So most times you have to like still work on the dimensions to get like a perfect size for your designs. Can you see? So like those guys are like, you can just play, just keep playing around it and just working towards whatever. Then here you can still explore and do like some, you can still bring this guy out a little bit, maybe remove the corner radius for like some time, bring this guy out again too, and remove the corner radius. Can you see that? So now everything is coming together low key, right? I just here see. So now same thing happens here. You can just play around with it. It's not really Herculean tasks. It's just you familiarizing yourself with what we have today on Figma, and you should be good, right? So in here we have this guys happening. So it's just what it is, and can you see? So now I can drag this guy back a bit, drag you also back a bit. Can you see? Then we can just have them play around like this, right? Then you have your stuff around. So it's just literally manipulations and making things work the way it's supposed to work, right? These are just explanations. These are not like the real deal. And the design, when the design comes, things come out better, right? So what other thing is on ellipse tools? Yeah, I'm not really sure there are a lot of other things. Just the arcs, the field. I think I already explained like the field for the rectangles. The same thing applies to these guys. So the field, the strokes, all of those things happens the same way on here. So let's move to star. Star is really nice. Or let's move to polygon first. So polygon, the same thing. Remember, type your shift. Then yeah, you could turn your polygon to a circle. So far as a definite shape. So far as like it's 77, it's giving you a definite shape. You can switch it back to a circle or a polygon. See now I'm turning this, I'm removing the corner radius. So there's this count here just by the side. You can use it. That's why it's called a polygon. Polygon is like a shape with multiple sides, right? So I'm counting this. Is like normally comes with 3 count, just 3 sides. But because it's called a polygon, it's multiple sides. So you can keep increasing it, just keep running up like this, and you can have like multiple sides. Depending on how firm you want your, you can smoothen the radius. But sometimes if you don't even want to smoothen the radius, you can just keep going, right? And do whatever you want to do today. And the bigger your circle, the more like the count can go. Then you have like your strokes and things that you can move around with. Can you see that? Then you see like you have like your rectangle, you have like your corner radiuses and all of that, right? They just work the same way. Then they're like the inside, the outside, the fill, then the shadows work the same way on the polygon tools that I explained earlier. So moving on to the next, we have the star. So the start is really interesting because it allows you to do a lot of nice stuff. So can you see corner radius is also available here, and you can increase the count as much as you want to. So just take it up, and you can have like multiple counts to do your designs. So you can just play around with it and have like your styles like this. Can you see how this thing is moving? So it's nice. And you can also do your stroke, you can do your feel, you can do anything with this guy, right? You can literally do anything on it. So just try to play around with it, change the colors, change all the things. Remember I said practice makes perfect. So just keep exploring all of these shapes and you get the best thing out of it. Then the funny thing about this is you can place images inside all of these guys. And now let me just look for an image that I can place here. So I'm looking for this and I'm trying to place it inside this. So the image is coming inside and it's going to drop here. Can you see? So this is how you can play around text. You can also put that same image inside of this guy to give you a shape. When you go to the image or video palette, and here you can still select that image and you can still upload from your computer right here. If you decide to change it to something else, you can do it. You can just play around with it. And you can say, oh, I don't want this image anymore. This is the image that I want. And it's going to switch up. See, now we now have like this nice looking image inside our container, right? The same thing applies to this guy. You can just come here, fill it with image. Here we have like gradients and all that. So mentioning also for the shapes, when you come to like your fill color, we have like the solid colors, we have like gradients, and we have like image. You can insert image inside and you can insert videos if you're on a paid version. Right now I'm not in the paid version, we're on a free plan, so you can input videos. But for pictures, you can do that. So come here, click on pixels. You can have access to this right here, right? See it, and it looks really nice and good. Can you see that? So the same thing applies to all of the shapes. You could literally do that and make your design look so nice. Then also these guys, you can usually play with it, even just not making it have all of the shapes. You can just play around with it like this, and your shape is still gonna come out really nice. This is and your graph is ready, right? So that is what's happening right now on this end. So moving on to so we talked about the rectangle, the line, the arrow, the ellipse, the polygon, the star, the image, and the video. So we move on to like the pen tool. The pen tool is quite easy, but sometimes it's tasking. Because yeah, like these are the things I used to draw your graphs. But if you're familiar with like Photoshop and the likes, it shouldn't be an issue for you to use your pencil to design anything on Figma. So if you know your way around on Photoshop before, you could turn a pencil shape to a solid shape actually, and you can manipulate it and play around with it and make your design look so good, right? It's always nice to have all of these guys together right here, right? It's always nice to see. So just play around with it. These are the things that is to create like your line graphs and all of that you see today, applying gradients and all of that. So yeah, I can come here and remove the stroke and give this guy a gradient. So let's try gradients on this. So this is how your gradient works. You have linear gradient, you have radial, we have angular, we have diamond. So if I say diamond, this is what diamond looks like. I say angular. Angular is like it gives you this sharp corner in your designs, right? And you should just know when to use it to fit your design. Then we have radial. Radial is like from the middle. From the middle, then you can usually play with your colors. Yeah, I want to choose like a red color. I want to choose like just a blue color or something. So can you see the gradient? Then you can decide how much of that color you want. But I like to use linear so that it shows me like linear is like side by side. So and it allows it to be so soft. So can you see that? It's so nice. It's cool. It's nice. It's great. Can you see? So it's so nice. So you can just play around with all of the shapes or all the kind of colors that you have today. And just click on, oh, let me use like a blue gradient and a green gradient. I think I've been messing with colors lately. So yeah, this looks way better. So can you see that? You can still adjust your pen to see, you can make it corner and make it round. I come here and say, oh, I want this to be corner. Can you see? It's way better this way than before and all of that. Can you see? It looks really pretty good. Yep. So this is what happens today when you explore this. So the pencil tool also is just like when you write with a pencil and it turns to a shape on your design. So maybe it's for signatures when you're trying to like and maybe work on something. Can you see that? Like it's going to turn to an actual shape. Then you can also use it to do like a graph lining. Just come here and update it, more like try to reduce the strokes, because you can literally reduce the stroke to make a shape. Because if you feel like, oh, you can't use the pen tool properly, you can just go to the pencil tool maybe you want to draw like a caricature. Can you see this? Or you want to draw something that you're not really sure that you want to draw it. Can you see? You can just literally play around with it. I'm literally using my mouse to do this right now. That's why it's all like this. Can you see? So it's always like that. I just play around with it and let's see what comes out of it. So yeah, it just gives you all of the playful times, right? And it's nice. So you can always explore that. So that's that for the pen and the pencil tool. So now we're moving to the text. So text is like, you can literally just explore anything on the text, which is just click on T on your keyboard, or you can just like you type on Microsoft Word today. The boy is good. Can you see? So now you can do anything on your text. You can change the color of your text. You can choose your font type today. I want to switch my font type to this. I can literally do anything. I don't know why my fonts are not loading fully, but I'll select this and switch your font type to another font that you have on your laptop. Then you can just play around, just see your font. Can you see this? Looks really good. So you can just explore that and have a walk around. Then you can change the colors to whatever colors fit. Just click on the fill today and you can have that color. Then you can also have like all of the things that happen to text today. You can have them. And corner radius will not work because this is not an object until you rasterize it. Maybe if you flatten it, maybe corner radius will work. So when you flatten it now, I can now work on the corner radius is not active. Then I can now do this. Can you see? You can play around with your font to give you whatever shapes that you want today. So let's move back to the text when it was still a text. So now you can play around like your alignment. Let me break this down into like a 2 steps. So now I want to do left align, center align. Can you see right align, up and down alignments, and all of these guys, all of these things happens the same way. Then you can do like all small letter depending on the type of fonts that you have. All small letter, all capital letter, all this. Then you can have like listings, tablets view, numbers, and all of that. Then you can underline everything just like this that we have. Let me take this back to what I have. Then you can extract them, you can cancel, you can explore more, you can remove, you can do extra techniques, but this font doesn't allow that, so I'm not sure how well we can do that. Yeah, so spacings, paragraph spacings, and all of that. See the spacing here. So yeah, and list spacing. This is like if I have multiple listing, it's going to allow me to do this. So let me copy this and say, oh, number 2. So what is going to happen is on the list spacing, it's going to allow my list to have space, but that's different from line height that we have today, right? Then we have letter spacing. Letter spacing is like what you have between each letter spacing, right? You can reduce it. There are some fonts that, depending on what the designer wants to do, you can manipulate it and make this the line spacing really, really nice and better. So depending on what you want to achieve. Then I think we talked about the alignments already. Then you can have strokes on your font if you want to, depending on what you are trying to achieve, right? You can just still manipulate and play around all of these guys. Then you have the weight. See, the weight of the stroke can also be bigger and smaller depending on what you are trying to achieve. And you can decide maybe it's outside, maybe it's inside, and all of these guys happens. Then you can also give your text a drop shadow depending on whatever you're trying to do, or give you a layer blur. If you want, it's gonna just disappear like this. Then you can reduce layer blur, maybe if you don't want it to be too much blurry, or you're trying to achieve something, the components, all of that, it happens today. So here now, the next thing to do is, so that's really about it on text, right? Text is really, really easy. Then you can also add a link into your text. if you come here on this URIs panel, you have like a text with URL link. Maybe I want this thing to redirect to figma.com. Right, I'll just enter it. So anytime that anybody clicks this, it takes them to figma.com, right? So that's how that, and you can also remove it if you feel like, oh, you don't want that to happen anymore. So it's already rerouting to figma.com. I don't want that to happen anymore, so I can detach it. Then here we have the apply variable. If you want to apply variable to your font, then you can also make the font a component. So you can always do that, but we're not talking about components today. I have a video that talks about components already. So I'm just trying to move around to explain what Figma does and how Figma works on the surface level. So let's go back to what we're working on. So yeah, all of these guys happens today. Then let's quickly talk about comment. So if you're working with somebody, if you're collaborating with somebody, you can always drop a comment and say, oh, hi there, can you change this? Can you see this? So like anybody that comes here will get a notification directly, and this is me sending a message to whoever I'm collaborating with. So, and the person can come here and see what I said and also reply me or add a reaction to it. Can you see? And all of that, and it can go on and on like that. And if the person has done it, the person can come here and resolve the comment, and it doesn't show anymore. Tickets, and I can undo it and let it go. So all of the comments shows here, and I can decide to hide everything or decide to see the one that I want to see. So the other options that we have here is actions. So we just have like find, replace, select all, undo more of this. I think on this version I don't have the AI yet, but I would probably do a video about the AI in my next video on my other account, on my professional account. Yes. So dev mode currently paid, so I have to go back to design mode. So while using a free account, so that doesn't work right now on this. So so let's dive back into this. So let's do let me talk more on constraints. So like there's a difference between frames and rectangles. So just like I said earlier, all of these are frames. Like frame is like the bedrock of design on Figma. So this is what really houses your Figma designs, like your Figma design files. So now we have something called the grid layout grid on Figma. So if you want to design on Figma and you want to start your design in grid layouts, is like, say, the column here, you have a count. So depending on the number of grids that you are working towards, most times if I'm working like with a mobile phone, I do 4-column grid, and there's a margin just like you have on your notebooks. So most times I use 16 or 20 depending on how fancy I want my designs to go. And there is also something called this is column. There's something also called the rows. So I can do rows also depending on how I want to segment my designs. If I come to my rows, I can also do 4-column depending on what's going to be on my dashboard or my mobile application. And you can also adjust the colors to fit whatever you want, right? Maybe just subtle, calm, and all of that. Then you can decide that right here and adjust it. You can say, oh, the spacing, I need a margin on top and bottom, so I can do that and say, oh, from here to here, or let me say from here to here, I want my status bar should be like on this, and my navigation in the bum too should be here. So now I've done that demarcation, and I can carry my frame here and say, you know what, this is what I want. This is how my status bar is gonna be, and this is where my navigation. So I have like my own colors. Right, sorry, I'm just always speaking red today, but let me change it back to blue. Red is like the like default on the wheel, that's why. So yeah, I have like the this guy right here. So I already have my demarcations and I followed my grid lines. So most times when you want to start your designs, you have to set up your grid lines to fit what you want to do on your design. We're not going, I have like a video that talks about grid layout. You can go and check it. Somewhere on my profile I talked about how to use your grid lines and all of that. Today's just like pretty much overview on how to get started on Figma. On my subsequent videos we'll be talking about like how to create designs from scratch and all of that. Then yeah, there are some other things you could do with your shapes. When you come here, you have like you come to this page here right now. I'm designing like a rectangle. It's like you want to play with your shapes and do a lot of things. Here you see this guy here that does like a union section, subtract, intersection, exclude section, and all of that. And you're trying to create something. See, you can merge two shapes together, and you can also do the same thing for this guy. You can ungroup them, and you can still tweak these two shapes and give them a subtraction. So it just takes out this guy in it, right? You can just use this to do like a logo design and stuff like that. You get, depending on how you want to play around with your work. Then can you see it's already giving this logo vibe, like giving this very fancy logo vibe. Let me give you a black color. So yeah, it's already looking like something that I really don't know. I don't have an idea yet, but it's looking nice already. So then you can still play around with like this same shape again and explore the let me see on group, then explore the intersect. So intersect is just like when you're doing mathematics. Then sorry, I'm using mathematics most times, but it's just like you intersecting two things together and you're taking off the beneath of the two of them. So it's like, see, before I did the intersection, just like where they met. So this place, so I'm intersecting them together and I'm trying to say, this is what I need, right? So you can apply it anywhere in your design, depending on whatever you want to do. Then there's exclude, which is I'm taking out this middle, wherever they met, exclude it. And this one, the former one, is like wherever they met, intersect it. So you get. Then the former one is like wherever they met, subtract it. Take it out of this guy, right? So that's what happens today. So you can play around and decide to move this guy and say, subtract this place from inside this guy. So I'm subtracting it and it works like this. Can you see? Really nice and cool. So apart from that, one other thing we're going to check right now is constraints, or like when you're trying to edit objects. Yeah, you can also move your object around and do like transformation and all of that. You don't even need to go to that. Just double click your shape and you're able to have like shape edit and get like as much body you want to get in your design, and just give it colors and stuff, depending on, just do free transform. Then the other part we're talking about is how to put images. I already did one how to put image inside your design, but let's do one that is really nice, that is not it's more like you have like control over it. So let me move this image here so that you see what I'm saying. You know, before we just literally we threw the image inside this guy. So now we have this really nice family image. So we're trying to put them in a circle, just like we did this. But what we did here was just to look for the image and drag it inside here. But yeah, we're going to first create like let me just use a single person image. I don't have any plugins here yet, but let's just use one. Let's use this one. So let me look for an ellipse. So I have an ellipse right here. So what you're going to do is, this is your image. You're trying to mask this image inside this guy. So what you're going to do is to move this guy to the front first, right? Make sure that it's always in front. Then you put them together, then you mask it. There's an option here, it's called users mask. So it goes inside this shape, inside this container, and you can adjust it to fit whatever you want. Just make sure that your image is always in front and it doesn't go to the back. Your image is always in front. Image is always in front. The one we did here was just me saying, oh, let me remove the image again and show you what I mean. Now I just click on this guy, go inside my image. I'll go inside my fill image or fill here and select image and open my computer. I just go in here and select the image from here. Can you see? Then it's just gonna drop inside here right now. Right, it's just gonna drop inside here. But I can't change it. I can't move where the direction of the image is. I can't say, oh, I want the image to be zoom out a little bit more. I can't decide that. But when I did this, it was better, right? I was able to like move around this guy properly. So those are like majorly some of the things that you could do. Then here you can share your design with somebody else. So you can come here and do like invite others, name and all of that. So you can say, I want to invite someone to this, or you can copy the link of your project to send to somebody. So come here, copy the link, and you can share with whoever you need to share with, right? And yeah, you can share, and you can see when you send somebody, you see the invite of the you see the person pending, if he has accepted or not, and you can see who has access to your file and who doesn't have access to your file. And also you can publish your community or watch your prototype. So there's also something you can do on Figma today, which is viewing your prototype on your design. So here we could literally come here and let me draw a circle inside, or draw like a rectangle here, so that I wanted to show you something about how the prototype works, prototype view. But we're not doing prototype today. I'm just showing you an overview of what Figma looks like and how you can navigate through Figma like a pro, like you already know what you're doing. So here, can you see? I'm just trying to show you different things. So let me reduce the opacity of these guys to a little bit, yeah, this calm. So now I have this. Then I want to prototype. So this play button here is just for you to preview. It's an iPhone 16 Pro Max. So this is what the iPhone 16 Pro Max phone looks like, and it's going to show it like this. And yes, you ever wondered how all of these things happened, and you see people's screen showing a phone canvas like this? This is what they do on Figma. You just click this and prototype it, and you're able to see your design come to life wrapped in a mobile phone, just like you want it. And all right, so this is what the screen here looks like. Can you see the screen now? This is what it looks like on your iPhone screen. So guys, that is it. You are now ready to start designing in Figma. Remember, practice makes perfect, and do not hesitate to experiment and explore Figma. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more interesting videos like this. And I'll catch you in my next video. Bye for now.